Hello and good morning. This is 90 Minutes with Mathematical, coming to you live from the studios of Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM, Wasimi, near Abeokuta in Ogun State. You have to visit. When next there's an international engagement, please come and see for yourself what is happening in that city. Well, my guest is here already, and I can't wait for us to start this intriguing conversation. Let me just make sure that I can hear his voice and we can see his face. A great man indeed, chairman of the Nigeria Professional Football League, whom we all know as Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye. Let me just see if I can hear his voice. Good morning, Honorable.
Hi, Big Shag. Good morning.
Fantastic. Well, anytime you want us to see your face, that's good.
I'm on, yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks.
I'm sorry to have disturbed your morning sleep. I know you are
No.
You are a very busy man.
I wake up early. Thanks.
I can't tell you, since I promoted this event in the past 2 days, I can't tell you the number of telephone calls, the number of messages from everywhere that I have received. The number of questions people want to ask you is just incredible. One of the highest I've ever received. People are really concerned about what is happening in the league. So that's what
I'm happy
in this morning.
I'm happy about the interest of the people.
Very good. Well, you came in 3 seasons. This will be your 3rd season.
Yes, exactly. My third season.
As chairman of the professional league.
Yes.
When you came in, it was with a lot of promises. It was with a lot of promises. All of us were expectant because the league was not doing so well at the time and all that. And then you came in with this energy and with this vision and so on. How far have you achieved those goals, those dreams after 3 years on the saddle? Just do your self-examination.
All right, let me start by thanking you for at least giving us the opportunity again to talk about the league, for a very large audience of Nigerians to listen to us. And again, starting from the time we started, that was October 2022 or 23. Let me just go straight to your question. By the time we came in, there are so many things that I discovered was not okay with the league. First, we did not inherit anything. There was no account, nothing. We inherited no cover. So I started from 0 naira. Even the government did not give us anything. So it means we want to start, and if we really want to work, you can't prosecute a league without money. So I keep moving around looking for prospective sponsors. Luckily, I was able to convince the GTI group that, look, invest in this league is something that is going to be very profitable, but not immediately. They are investment bankers, and they say, okay, yes, that is written in my presentation. They came in. Largely, my first major concern was payment of referee emoluments. Late Thaddeus Aziz of blessed memory, who was the president of a referee association then, came to me with 1 or 2 of his members threatening to boycott the league because they said they were being owed over 3 years unpaid emoluments. I remember my first answer to him that was that, look, I'm just coming in. There's no money to pay 3 years for you, but the way I'm going to start, we will not owe referee any time, any week. We even try and pay before they go and officiate. Want to start on a clean slate? Don't let me promise what I cannot do. We're able to negotiate, and again, we're able to start. GTI came into our rescue. My major concern was the issue of these referees. The staff that I inherited declared they were not being paid for 13, 14 months. I don't know whether it is true or not because I don't have records of the previous administration. So let's go ahead. GTI came. We again tried to force an abridged league on the club. There was very big resistance. And why do we want to abridged league then? And because the Nigerian leagues, you don't have a calendar. You don't know where you start. You don't know where you finish. Then, how do you manage to present club for continental engagements? that means you are going to send in clubs that are not perhaps the best. So we need to fix a calendar. And how do we do it? Because we started and we inaugurated in October. Then the crisis of we don't agree this and that. This moved to January. Eventually, we were able to start on the 8th of January. Now, the only thing that can make us finish to achieve that result of a unified calendar with that of Europe and the other CAF competitions is to be able to start in January and finish in April or May. So we forced down our bridge league, which ended in the Super Six at the Stadium in Lagos. Then we were able to gradually manage the calendar. As I can tell you today, the last season we finished the same day as EPL and La Liga. The day Liverpool was crowned the champion of EPL was same day Remo Stars was crowned the champion of NPFL Year 2. This season now, we just finished week 10, going to week 11. La Liga, EPL, they are also on week 10, week 11. So we'll be able to manage that calendar. So that any club that is going to go for CAF competitions must be clubs that are in the bracket of 1, 2, 3 after finishing the league. Then secondly, we discovered that there was no prize money for the winner of the league when we came in. For years, that was promised, we know. And we need to make reference to the past. The past is just a place of reference, not a place of residence. So we just have to make reference to the past. There was no winner, no prize money for the winner of the league when we came in. So, and I said, okay, look, you cannot win a league without something, not just presenting a trophy. No. That would be financial benefit of struggling to win the league. So in the very first season, we were able to pay 100 million naira through the GTI Group 2 to Ranger and to Enyimba. Second season, we were able to up it to 150 million naira, which Enyimba won. And we saw which Rangers won. That was the one they played in Jos. Memorably, I remember the governor of Enugu State came with Ato Hesi and a lot of people to celebrate that victory in Jos. Because they played against, like last match against Gbenga United. Gbenga was banned. We banned Gbenga because they are stadium because of violence to be playing in that time at Jos, at the stadium in Jos. Again, last season, Remo Stars won the league. We were able to again increase the money by another 50 million to 200 million, from 150 to 200 million. We've been able to do that substantially. And again, look at officiating. Teams at home always win their matches. Then it is more reason why crowd run away from the stadium. Because before they start, you know the team that will win. So since you know the result, why bother yourself to pay or to go to stadium to watch matches? You can easily predict the team that will win. Now, we were able to curb that substantially by not just imposing fine, but again, imposing three-point deduction on any club that precipitate violence, any club that the supporters attack referees, to give referee the free mind to know that if you give the right call, the right decisions, you will not be molested by the home team. Because if you say that was done before, financial fines, let's say 1 million, 2 million, any club will easily pay 1 million naira. And the next home match, you beat up referee again. And to get the 3 points, and still pay 1 million naira. So now that it is 3 point deduction, nobody want to lose 3 points. A lot of teams lost 3 points, they went to relegation. And the example are banks. So some lost 3 points, they weren't able to qualify for the Continental Championship. So now the supporters themselves are now aware that this is the principal problem. So now that has gradually reduced. This season alone, it was just Canopilas case that we had. And again, we did the needful by banning the stadium from them. And again, imposed 3 points deduction and 9.5 million naira. Of course, they are on appeal. They have the right to appeal. Now, that aside, teams are now winning away. You know, you discover that the very first match day, Warriors went to Casino and defeated United, the Casino United at home. Match day 4, Bayelsa United defeated 3SC in Ibadan. Same 3SC again defeated Warriors at home. that defeated Katsina United. So Enyimba, again, defeated Bayelsa United at home. Bayelsa United defeated Rivers United at home. So you can win anywhere now if you play well. It's not about home advantage anymore. Nothing like that. Even the governor of Oyo State was able to make that reference during the NFFA Annual General Assembly in Ibadan. That now is surprised that 3SC, they always win their own matches. They are now sometimes being defeated at home and again going out there and win matches outside Ibadan, which doesn't happen before. It's a credit to the system. We have been trying on our own to be credible, to run open administration, to give the best that we can as a body. Again, the issue that people usually raise now, which I must just tell you, is about players' exodus. Everybody keeps saying that by the end of every season, that players, they run away, our best legs run away. I must tell you that yes, it is true. It is true. And again, there are some exceptions. How come Rivers have been able to largely keep their...
Honorable, before we get there, because we would eventually get there. You know, yes. I just listened to you, and I'm sure the whole world listened to you, and I am the first person to testify that the organization of the league has improved tremendously in the manner that you have described, the different things that you have done to make sure that things work out, the league is running. But I want to give you this picture. I was one of those that visited South Africa when, at the end of apartheid, when that country opened up its doors to the rest of the world. We went with the national team of Nigeria to play South Africa. And what happened at that time was that they now sent administrators to Nigeria to come and learn from us how to administer the game of football generally, both at league level and at the NFA level at the time, and they learned. The product of coming to learn from Nigeria, we saw a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago in Abeokuta, when the champion team of South Africa came to meet the champion team of Nigeria, and it was so glaring, the disparity between the two teams. So that brings me, one, we have a league in South Africa that is heavily sponsored, that is doing so well now that they came and had a practice match against our own team on our own ground and handed us the worst defeat that we've ever had at international club level here in Nigeria. So at the level of sponsorship, they are big. Technically on the field of play, they are big. So you now, this is personal, your own opinion. Why would we have this huge disparity? Some people say it is because the leagues of both countries, one is on the upward rise, the other is on the downward slide in terms of sponsorship, in terms of technical, that is player development. What are your impressions?
Well, thank you. In terms of sponsorship, yes, they are right. Like I told you earlier on, I inherited the league without any sponsor at all. As I'm talking to you, still no single sponsor. So I just imagine I will be managing to be able to pay all this prize money that I mentioned to you. Secondly, will the clubs in Nigeria want to invest in the way the South African clubs invested? Will they want to keep their players and wait for them to get to the stage of making big money? Will they not want to sell their players immediately after winning the league or immediately after finishing the league? These clubs that you mentioned, Mamelodi, Sundowns, those players playing for them are largely players that have been there for seasons that they don't want to go. Not principally because of the salary they are getting, but because of management. If the league is well managed, at the same time, the league managers cannot go and manage the clubs. All right? So if clubs keep their players, I just mentioned earlier on that Rivers United was being like to some extent, half majority of their players with them for the past 2 or 3 seasons. How did they manage to do it? So the law of selling players immediately every season if our clubs can stop that, that would be progressive development in terms of competing with other clubs from other countries in CAF competitions. Just imagine the clubs going, Rivers United now going to the group stage of the CAF Champions League. Now they will pocket for qualifying alone about 1.2, 1.3 billion naira. For just qualifying to the group stage alone without kicking the ball. That's what they have already earned. So if clubs can be thinking of that, let's manage our players to reach that stage. Now, imagine now a club going to the club World Cup. The Mamelodi Sundowns, the analysts of this world that went there, millions of dollars that they have. It's enough to manage a club for 5 years and pay good salaries to this club. Will our clubs think in that direction too? Yeah, you need to think in above that level of immediately you win, then you sell all your players. Immediately there's an opportunity, you sell all your players. Will you be able to wait and invest and do proper investment in football? Proper investment means continuity. Proper investment means progression in terms of achievement. Can governors who own clubs, these clubs are owned by the government again, can the governors of those say no, the real advantage of commercial football development? Do they know that football is an investment that will yield multiple fold of what we invest? If governors will think along that line, the way the South African clubs and their managers are doing, if our own clubs here would think like that, look, we can reach that level of Mamelodi Sundowns, but again, making sure that we invest and plan for the future, not to dispose our players immediately season after season, just for profit. Then to pay the league more. That is it. Now, talking of investors not coming in, for the past 1.5 years now, we'll be talking to investors. We've met with groups and they'll be showing interest. And then, principally among them, the NNPC will be meeting with the NNPC. And the interest they are showing, if there is no credible league, nobody will show interest. If there's no openness, nobody will show interest. And investors they want to know that those at the end of affairs are actually sincere people. And what we'll be doing, the little that we had, through StarTimes, 1.something billion that time as broadcast fee, we didn't keep money as a league body. We don't warehouse money. Any money sent to us, we have a joint account with the GTI and investment banker. We register with the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. Then clubs take larger percentage of it. At the AGM, we read out, this is what we have, this percentage going club. So league zone is just 10%. For managing the league. And this is what we'll be doing, transparency. Now, I can tell you, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, two companies again are coming to us. Probably we will sign some relationships. It is about transparency. But still, I will tell you, we are not where we used to be. We have gone beyond that. But we are not where we think our league should be for now. Not at all. So that it can only be better. And we do, it's about the league and it's about the clubs. If we are doing our own, club owners too should do their own. Then the progress will come.
Okay. You see, you just cleared up something. Yes. The league can raise funds through sponsorships and all of that. The clubs have also to raise funds. They also have to make money. In your own opinion, because I know for sure that there is no club in the history of Nigerian football that has ever made profit. There is none. In any year, they have always more money than they have made. So, just thinking about it now, what would be the incentive, and how would clubs actually make money? Realistically, if it is clear. Probably we will get investors to come into the club business and invest because, there's evidence that they can make money. How can the clubs make money, really, realistically, from your own experiences within this league so far? And to attach to that, some governments have been funding those clubs after efforts to get the private sector, to come in to support them, have failed. Rivers United is the only club, now you just said it, that have invested in the past 3 years and now they are getting their dividends. So just that whole scenario of clubs making money, how to make money, how to justify people coming to invest in clubs, how do you work out all of that? How do clubs make money? Really, we have had the league, you are organizing it well now. You could get sponsorships for broadcast and so on later and all that. But what of the clubs themselves? Is it realistic to say government should hands off?
We have, like I said, we have 4 clubs now. Before it used to be 1 or 2, but now we have 4. Kun Khalifa is there, Barawu FC. We have Remo Stars too. Now, the number is growing. Before it was 100%, 20 clubs, government owned. All right? But what I can say is that if football is not profitable, those private entrepreneurs running clubs will have just dropped the thing and go away. They're not doing it for fun. They're making money. But the question is, the money you are making, are you now actually investing it right to promote the system of football development?
How are they making money? How are they making money, sir? How are they making money?
First, they are selling players.
Aha!
They are selling players. That is the issue we talk about. Players not staying. Some clubs, it's not that most of these players are just the one running away. Some club owners too are the one pushing their players to go. They won't get clubs for them outside Nigeria for profit making. That is a known fact. Now, how do clubs make money? Merchandising. Your jersey should be something of pride to your supporters. How many of these clubs have been generating enough supporters we have a lot of supporters, Rangers in those days, Enyimba, 3SC. Of course, you see go to Stadium, Canopilla, you see massive people coming to watch matches. Now, you will not wonder, why is it not possible for the clubs to make money through these thousands of supporters that they have? Why don't you, again, find a way to commercialize your brands? Open shops in street corners and be selling your jersey. They will buy it. By the time you keep going out, some clubs can go on investment drive looking for prospective companies. Let me give you an example, for instance. There are so many super rich people within the axis of Southeast where you have Rangers and Enyimba. Why are they not going? And they love football. Why are they not going there? The last time I was happy to see Obi Kubana going to watch Rangers match, and I called to thank him for doing that, to promote the brand. Why is it that the clubs are not talking to the personalities around them to invest in their club? Why was it possible for the former governor of Edo State, or Baseki, to, after I spoke to him, and again, why was it possible for him to bring a band to get involved with the Gbenga Insurance? How was it possible for Philip Shuaibu, former deputy governor, to get some people to invest in Gbenga Insurance at that time? I remember a bank giving them about 100 million naira. If that is continuous, clubs don't need to be afraid of keeping players, because there'll be enough money from investors. You don't just give it 100% government ownership. Governors or government are supposed to provide an enabling environment for football to thrive, not to be club owners. Now, I said it immediately I became chairman of the league. Some people accuse me, hey, he's a politician. He's saying government, you do not give club management to politicians. And I'll still stand on it. Management of football club is not for political election campaigners. There are professional sports administrators. There are professional football administrators in all the states. The government will fish them out. When I talk, I know what I'm talking about. They say, yeah, he's a politician, he's accusing his fellow. I have masters in sports management. I'm a politician too. That doesn't stop me. But I'm a professional sports manager. I studied it. I prepared myself for it. So must you now compare me or compare yourself who want to manage a club to somebody who was campaign manager to a governor without any reasonable relationship with football before? Then how would such a person know how to manage a club and raise money for clubs? That is part of it. So qualified people must be appointed to manage clubs. Oh yeah, recently I can see very good number of people now coming in as very good managers of men and materials and thereabout. There's hope that very soon all across things will turn around for good. So there are many ways that the clubs can access. Rivers United of recent signed a contract with a particular endorsement with a company, and maybe any about $40,000 or something like that annually. The chairman of Rivers told me there are others that are making money. They can do more. That's what I'm saying. Opportunities abound.
Okay, let's look at the facilities. Nigeria as a whole, this whole country as a whole, giant of Africa, probably the biggest footballing nation in Africa, with the biggest football brand in Africa. We all know that we have only one stadium good enough to play top-class international matches in this country. That is the Uyo Stadium. That's the only one good enough to play football at that level. How come we have all the stadia playing good enough to play our domestic league? Shouldn't one reflect the other? Shouldn't that have taught us a lesson that we must have all these clubs, if they want to get to that level, they want to play football at that level, to be that attractive, to become good products? Shouldn't the clubs have access to the best stadium facilities? What is the problem with getting proper facilities for our football?
All right, thank you. Let me again refer to Nigeria as a whole. The only stadium so far approved by CAF and FIFA to play international matches in Nigeria is the Uyo Stadium. I'm sure you are aware of that.
Yes, that's why what I just said.
Every time we go to Uyo to play international matches,
yes.
Now, a country as big as Nigeria, you'll be wondering why is it so. Now come to the state level. It's the same reflection. Clubs play, use whatever opportunity to say the stadium that's available for owned by the state government. Majority of them are owned by government. The only one privately owned that has good facility is the Remo Stars, the stadium in Ikene. Despite being approved by CAF to play continental matches, the owner of the facilities still, as I'm talking to you now, they are upgrading the place. That means it's the culture of maintenance in the system in that place. They moved their match to Abeokuta. Again, kudos to the governor of Ogun State for that facility. Now that one again is hosting CAF competition. By the time they finish the Remo Stadium, I'm sure again it can start hosting FIFA-approved matches. But look at the dig. If we choose to ban clubs without good facilities, we will practically ban 70% of the teams in the league. But again, we need to be a bit flexible.
No, but if we want to have the best player, if we want to develop to the highest level, and we are managing and playing on average pitches or the wrong pitches sometimes, that expectation is unrealistic, becomes unrealistic. If you want to get to the very top, you must use the top facilities. Because
let me finish my statement. I was just making a point and developing that point to the stage of saying we banned clubs from using their own matches because we know that those pitches are not good enough for the league. All right? That was the time we banned Niger Tornadoes, they play in the Kaduna. We banned National United. We banned Sunshine Stars. We moved them to Ijebu, then later to Remo Stadium. We banned a lot of clubs. We banned Ruby Stars, then we moved them to National Stadium because we feel your home pitch and the stadium is not good enough for our matches. It's not television friendly enough. We don't want this. Some people are saying, you guys, you are too harsh. I'm sorry. If you are not harsh, you cannot get results in this system. I'm sorry to say this. You need to be harsh. Again, they said, we keep threatening. Somebody said, I was laughing at the guy that said, we keep threatening. Because I know his own prejudice, because you are trying to use our product to to get something. I would say, look, you didn't inform us. It is not, that's not the way it is. So if we are not threatening, and if we are not being harsh, then we will not get results. Recently, we wrote to Abia Warriors that by the middle of the season, that's January, May 16, if you don't upgrade, we will not let you resume the second half of the season there. We wrote it there. We did something to Kano Pillars before we banned them that we need to do an upgrade. So we do constant inspection. Imagine Sunshine Stars of Ondo State. We said your stadium is not good enough from Ondo State for it.
Which stadium is good enough?
That's
Which
my stadium. I used to make clubs.
Stadium is good enough? You know,
now,
if you ask me,
tell you,
there's no stadium in Nigeria that is good enough. If you ask
good enough,
genuinely,
Big, let me tell you. Some are good enough to play local league. I've been to other African countries. The ones who are saying good enough, they may not be good enough for international matches. But some are good enough to at least play local league.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. Whether local league or football is football. Football is football.
Well, I will tell you that Onicon is good enough to hold local matches.
No, I disagree with you because the vision. No, let me explain. Because the vision is for us to be the best. The vision is for us to be the best. The pitches, and you see the pitches where players play. It's the cheapest commodity in the whole stadium infrastructure. It is one that should be primary, not the sitting terraces and all those other things that they spend money on. Where the players play, it makes the difference between watching a first-class match and watching a terrible match. And we have been at this for 40, 50 years, trying to make sure that teams concentrate on where the game is played, because that's where the development takes place. So, and through the years, we have been managing, it's good enough for club, it's not good enough for... No, I think that kind of thinking should be out of it. It's not about banning. It's not about banning clubs. It's about keeping a standard that everybody must conform to.
All right, thanks, Big Sheikh. Like you said, we want to be the best. And in being the best, we must have the best of facilities. Thank you again, you said, for the past 40, 50 years we've been on it. In being the best, we cannot just jump steps. It's a gradual process. The issue of banning is for us to know that we are starting to say we don't want this. If we don't start from the stage, we will not just, according to you now, no good stadium in Nigeria, then where do they play? Where would they be playing? Should we now move out our clubs to public stadium? We cannot do that. So definitely, there must be room for flexibility. And in doing that, there must be standard again. Look, we want 100%, but we can accept 60%. Do this.
Not producing, because we've been waiting for 40 years. It's not about you, sir. It's about waiting. We've been giving them for 40 years. We have been accepting something and we expect a change. It will not happen. If we keep accepting this change, it will never happen. That's my own thinking.
You are right. And that's the reason for the banning. That's the reason for sending them away, that we don't accept this. You are very correct. So I will continue to do it.
Okay.
Now, for instance, the Akure Stadium that I mentioned, the government is working on it, almost completed. You're right? We banned, what is it? Lobby Stars then. The governor of Benue State awarded the Akure Stadium. Of course, it's not yet completed, but I'm sure by the time it's completed, it will be better off and more acceptable. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how is the NFF and the league, the professional league board, how are you operating? Are they influencing anything? Because it's like the league is, although you are independent, but is there a role that the NFF should be playing that they are not playing, or they are playing? What is the relationship between the league and the NFF? Because we hardly hear anything from the NFF about the league, and vice versa. Is there a relationship of some sort that is invisible but that is functional?
Well, the league is a product of the Nigerian Football Federation. the NFF is custodian of football in Nigeria, so the relationship is quite cordial. It's not something that comes into the open most of the time. And I must let you know, most times when I want to discuss partnership relationship with corporate bodies, we always involve the NFF in it. Legally, the legal department of the NFF always get them involved before we get into relationships with corporate bodies. And again, at the initial stage of crisis, I must give kudos to the NFF president for always coming in, that's Ibrahim Kuso, to help the league navigate those stormy waters. I made reference to the earlier Abidjan League. It was a very stormy period. It was a lot of disagreement. Of course, it came in to midwife the relationship between the league board and the clubs for us to be able to start the Abidjan League. Occasionally, there have been some flashes of disagreement between the league and the clubs. So again, he always coming. So that relationship is there, but it's not something that is a television thing. So of course, I must confess to you, the relationship between the NFF and the NPFL is quite perfect.
Very good, very good. Well, if you've been listening to us, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM. Later in the show, you'll be able to make your call and ask your questions directly. But we'll be going on this short break, just a minute's break. And when we come back, I'm interested in, furthering this issue of do we need some kind of legislation? Do we need some kind of legislation to enforce some of the decisions that the League Management Board and the NFA need to take? I don't know if I'm making any sense. Do we need some kind of legislation?
Law backing it?
Yes. That will compel participants, of football in the country to do what they need to do. Because sometimes, the league board or the NFA are not strong enough to enforce some of the decisions that
some of the rules
in place. Yes. This is just my own thinking, which I asked. It's about, the frustration that administrators of football may be facing because there are so many things they cannot enforce. They cannot enforce this, they cannot enforce that. And is there a need for us to legislate, certain aspects of our sports development generally, or football development, that can help? I'm asking because you are from you left legislation to come into football administration, and from those your experiences, are there certain things we can legislate to make compulsory, that will help our football development and sports development? I'm just thinking of the cuff.
Well, your question is not off mark at all. That question is quite germane. I want to tell you that there are laws in this country. With my experience as a former member of the House of Representatives, we made laws compelling corporate bodies to invest a certain percentage of their profits into sports and education. But that is not done in Nigeria. Where there are laws and there's no enforcement, then that means there is no law at all. Imagine a company coming to Nigeria from another foreign with a foreign ownership. They are here showing leaks of other companies, other countries in their media outfit. You will see Ethiopian League, you will see South African League, you will see Kenya League, you will see even University League, they will be showing it, yet they are not going to show Nigerian Football League. I went there, coming in for the first time, I didn't just wait there. I went to the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, the NBC, that they should wait in. That I showed them the local content law of the National Assembly made by the legislature, that this must be enforced. But can the league enforce that? No, it is not. The league cannot enforce it. It is government that should enforce it. Enforcement power belongs to the government. Legislative power belongs to the National Assembly, but the government is supposed to do the enforcement. So as I'm talking to you now, it's not enforced. Now, again, talking about infrastructure deficit. those clubs that are owned by state government, who will compel them to upgrade the standard of their facilities to meet up with the required level of league football. The league cannot do that. So there must be a law that for you to own a club now, you must have social level of infrastructure. You must have social level of things in the stadium. There must be a minimum standard. With that law, then you cannot have a football club. But we made a system where there are so many clubs, there are 20 clubs on ground. You cannot stop them. Again, there are laws that within us, as a body, as a federation, and as a league, that we can do and again enforce. Let me give you an example. Just at the beginning of this season, one of the clubs promoted from the NNL, Gbenga Elegbeleye, came to me that they have been discussing with government, one of the relegated, 2 or 3 of the relegated clubs out of the 4, they want to sell their slots. And those slots they cannot pay, of course, without the legal approval. I refuse to. Some people have been saying, yeah, I'm too ashamed. No. You cannot just go and spend 50, 60 million naira to win, to get promoted to the league. And now want to come and sell the club for 500, 600 million naira. If you allow that, it will become business as usual. Next, you see, another club will qualify from the lower league to the NPFL. A relegated club will go and buy with bigger money. It becomes a business. I refuse. I was abused, but I don't mind. But now let me tell you, the same Gbenga Elegbeleye went to win matches away now. I've not been playing. So these are the laws that on our own we can enforce. Then again, there are others that are beyond the league body, beyond the federations, like these corporate bodies that I mentioned, that government needs to get into and get it enforced. That is it. Without that, we'll always be dancing around the same circle, motion without movement. That is it. You cannot just come to Nigeria and be making profit that you cannot make in 4 or 5 other countries that are operating in Africa, yet you're not investing in football, you're not investing in education. As I'm talking now, immediately I complained 2 seasons ago, one of the companies went to organize one mushroom competition to show that at least we are doing football. That's how to do football. Yeah, that's all. They will just go out, hey, we are playing Super 8, Super D, Super 9, just for a short while. Then you will never see them again after that. It's because Gbenga Elegbeleye was making noise. Let's shut his mouth. Let's do something. So now, after that, nothing happened again. So government need to look at this and force those corporate bodies. Look, in South Africa, SABC, it's a bank that won't drive in the league. We have banks making profit in this country. What are they doing with football? There are corporate communication companies, MTN, all of them. Now imagine, we are talking of players going away. If MTN own a football club in Nigeria paying in the Premier League, they won't pay the same salary. Like others, we have more money, they're going to make a huge profit to pay players, and those players will stay within the system. How do we enforce that? The league body cannot do that enforcement. It's a government job. That is it.
Are you thinking now, as what I'm thinking, that probably we need to get more of us from the sports area to go into government, to go into the legislative houses and try to put in place certain laws that will guide us? Because we are expecting people that don't know anything about sports to now, create those laws for us. Anyway, that's just a thought. But listening to you again, it just struck me. That do you know that we have more football academies in Nigeria today than we have churches and mosques put together? We are doing some research. We have more academies. And 99% of these academies are not really for the development of the game, but for the selling of players.
It's a marketplace.
So rather than develop the players, which is the primary responsibility of should be the primary responsibility of the academies, all they are after is selling. I feel sorry for those of you who are administering football in the country, but what are your thoughts on this? The academies and how to make sure that they carry out their primary responsibility and making money secondary.
You are very correct. But the academies, that one, they are beyond the primary responsibilities of the Premier League.
No,
Like
I know.
mentioned,
Just taking your own thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. And again, making reference to this, your question, I said earlier on, it affects the league body itself, the league clubs too. The group players I want to sell immediately, it's just the same scenario that's happening in the academies that you mentioned. Now, if these academies, there must be regulations from the federation about owning academy, right? There must be rules saying these are functions and requisite qualifications of football proprietors who want to own a football academy. And there must be proper rules guiding it of ownership. Then you cannot, no player can go out without getting the TMS from the Nigerian Football Federation. You understand that?
Yes.
And so from that, the federation can control the export of players. And that will make it difficult for the academies to sell regularly. That's a bit from the issue of TMS. That's where I see it.
Well, now, you, the listener, wherever you are, you can call us to be part of this conversation. 0700, remember those are the numbers. We'll try deploying technology to see if it will work. 0700 2255 1037. The second number is 081 2782 8497. We want to help the league because in helping the league and developing football at league level, it will change the entire landscape of sports development in this country. The league holds the key. The domestic league holds the key to sports development. I'm not talking of football development alone, because it's going to be the model for the rest of sports in the country when it comes to developing an economy around it. How can we help? How can we, the Nigerians, help the MPFL? How can we help you to achieve, this dream of making the MPFL the hub of a new sports economy in Nigeria? What can we do as Nigerians to help? We have a call. We have a caller. Let's just take this call first. Are you with me, Honorable Gbenga?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Very well.
Who are you?
Where are you calling from?
From South Corner area, Georgia. I used to see when I hear your voice.
Okay, very good. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Yes. Sports development in Nigeria. Where do players, proprietors place their priority? Is it in development or financial gain? That's that. Thank you.
Proprietors of clubs, where do they place their priority? Is it in development or in making profit? Of course, it's a business now. They should make profit, but yet they should have an interest. But anyway, you can answer the question, Honorable Elegbeleye, but also link it to what we can do. We need to help. We need to help you. We need to help the league itself. What can we do? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to do?
Okay, thank you very much. To help this system, all right, it's a joint. It should be a joint effort of everybody. So our own league is the image of our football. In Africa, we're supposed to be number one, but we're not number one. And why is it so? Nigerians are actually the problems of our leagues too. We are the problem of the current trajectory. Because if you have managed ourselves very well in the past, anybody coming in now should just try to develop and work on what is on ground. So why don't we have sponsors? But not because sponsors are running away. And let me tell you part of the reasons. Again, we have a lot of good journalists in Nigeria. The job you are doing now, I'm happy. You are projecting the system. But there are some out there, they don't see anything good except negative vibes. What does even happen? They will keep writing it. I want to give you an example of the current noise about FIFA Go project in Kebbi, and the one also, and the one in Kenya. These are things that we see some young people now as a result of internet. They want to chase clout. They just go out there, lie against the system, and some will just take it hook, line, and sinker. The one they are making reference to in Kenya is a government, their government development to prepare for Shan. The one there in Sanfara is FIFA project, awarded by FIFA to their own contractor, supervised by FIFA. Now, the question now is, Nigerian football is corrupt. I just want to come online and say something. There was a time somebody accused the league, the NPFL, or that we collected $100 million from Google. $100 million, from Google. Say the Nigerian bureaus gave us 2 billion naira. All those money, the guy was reading it online. Meanwhile, there was no relationship between the NPFL and Google, no relationship between NPFL and Nigerian bureaus and all the rest. So all those lies again is part of the reason why people think that our league is not good, think that our football is system not, because people within Nigeria here, not the journalists. These are not journalists. They are boys that can just buy one Android and start posting some things on WhatsApp. So it's not helping us. We are giving out negative image to the world about what is not happening here. Then the world will see that the garbage changing out of here, some might just believe it. In helping us, Nigeria should kindly be nice in their assessment of their own properties, of national properties. Don't give the world the impression that your product is bad. Say the truth about it. Let those managing it, let them understand the truth, then make corrections. Secondly, Nigerians with rich pedigree in business and all the rest should understand that our youth, the young elements in this country, it's only football that keep their hope alive. In the northeast, where you see Boko Haram, in southeast, where you see ESN and IPOP and all the rest, and everywhere. If we engage these boys in football, if we invest in football, the Dangotes of this country, the rich men of this country, then there will be peace. Secondly, there will be job opportunities. Football is a form of empowerment. So those boys, the younger generation, will make money. The world will see us in a different light. The world will know that Nigeria is not a country of garbage in, garbage out, as some people just giving out wrong impression. And again, to the question of whether the football owners are either after profit or development. You have already answered. It's a profit-oriented, it's a commercial venture. You will want to make profit, but at the same time, we should consider development in the sense that let there be room for continuity, let there be room for your players to stay within the system and again be able to manage your club very well to the extent that you can compete at the continent. If you compete well at the continent and you can reach the stage of this group stage like Rivers United, from there go to Club World Cup, then you will make so much money than the profit you are expecting from selling of players. So that is my opinion. So thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we'll just take our last break. And when we come back, we'll start rounding off the show. But I hear there's a caller. Oh, it has gone. Well, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 90 minutes with mathematical. My guest is the chairman of the Nigeria Professional League Board and Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye. Just our last break, and then we'll be right back.
I am Kadri Kana, MON, former ex-international, CAF award-winning coach. You are listening to Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM.
We talk sports like no other. Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7. We're champions for that.
Yes, welcome back. Hello? We have a caller. This is 90 minutes with mathematical. Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. My name is Original Golding.
Hey, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, sir. Well done, sir. Thank you, the chairman of Nigeria Football Association. Thank you, sir. My question is that I thank the chairman, especially the people running the Nigeria Professional League. They are trying. Especially they have bring to a league now to a certain stage that everybody will be proud of. Unlike before, when your own matches, you must win your own matches at all costs. Now we are seeing what is happening. But what the problem we are facing now is that We are running our football as if we are running the politics. What I mean by politics, you know how Nigeria play their politics. If you are from this country, you must bring somebody from your own country, from your own constituency to come and take over. Maybe be a coach, be a this thing. That is what is happening in Nigerian league now. Nigerian football setting or sports. We are running it as if we are running politics. That's not supposed to be. What sport that you must get, somebody has an inherent talent. That talent from you, you must have it. If you don't have it, you cannot buy it in the market. So wherever you come from, you pick that talent. That's the problem we are having. You go and pick coach. You keep on recycling coaches that are not productive. You keep on recycling them, bringing them out. You come and you go to that competition. You say next season you bring them. Maybe the chairman from that place or the person in charge of coaching this from that particular section of the country. You go and bring his own candidate. It's not like that. Football is not run like that. And when you talk about accountability, there are some allegations. You come out and openly say, look at what happened. Show the world, look at what happened. When you keep silent, it means you admitted that in the state. Also, look at that one, that guy is posted on the air. You said that you come into the air and say this to the people. Say, see, it's not like that. When the accusation is made, you come out and say, I think it's not like that. Like that one, that boy say, we use the money on specific project. You mentioned the specific project you use the money for. Don't say we use it for a full project. It's not like that. There's a time the Nigerians play one match and the image maker of Nigerian of the Super Eagles came to the A and said that they coach one of the players called the Nigerian match, that match. And the Secretary General come back and said that you don't know anything about it. Then who is deceiving who? How can the image maker and Secretary General, they cannot speak with one voice? It's one of the problems we are having. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Goldie. Well, Honorable, I don't know if you have anything to say.
It was more of a comment, not really a question. It's more of a comment there.
Okay. So, well, I want to paint this picture for you. You see, in the 70s and 1980s, there were so many foreign players playing in the Nigerian league. Before, it was not even professional. It was not professional. In the 80s, okay, we have another caller. Let's take this and make that the last call. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Gbenga Elegbeleye. I'm calling from Ifo district.
Okay.
Sir, kudos to the good work you are doing, sir.
Thank you.
Now, why do Nigerians need to promote foreign league more than our own league? That's my number one question.
I didn't hear that.
Local, our 8th grade football teams are not doing well recently. What can we do to salvage the situation? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, how can we salvage? That's why we are having the conversation. How can we salvage that situation? But, Honorable, I was just describing a scenario that in the 70s, we had leagues that had foreign players. So many. When I say foreign players, some of the best players from Ghana. In the 80s, we had the Black Stars goalkeeper, Joseph Carr, who was keeping inside this our country.
Yeah, the likes of Lucius Boateng, John Benson, all of them.
Exactly. So many foreign players. We had Edward Ansah, who came in and was playing. We had one foreign player for the Cameroon. That was in the days when there wasn't even, there was nothing. And in the 90s, there was a reversal. A migration of our players started going to Europe in the 90s. They started going. But despite that, we had the best era of football in this country because as they were going to Europe, the league was producing more and more of them. So you see, that's our concern. That it's not really the migration out, but it is that our league is not attracting players from around, and our league is not developing the players locally. So it is of grave concern. My question, GTI have done very well in the past, I don't know how many years that they came in, 3 years. I hope that there will not be fatigue. How close are we to getting support, funding, the kind of sponsorships that would take us out of the present situation? Realistically, all Nigerians are listening to you because we want to help you. Me particularly, I'm really, really interested to see that the Nigerian League gets financial support. So it is not politics, it is not anything. This is the reality now, so that all of us can join hands together and salvage the league and elevate the league and so on. How close are we to getting funding diverted into the league, investing into the league and so on and so forth? How close are we really in reality?
All right, let me make reference to the statement of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu after Nigeria won silver medal in the last AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. We came second, right? And the president did pronounce then that he will give support for the development of local league. On that statement gave us the impetus to start moving around government circle. Then we got the attention of the NNPC. Like I mentioned earlier on, discussions are ongoing. We started discussing with the NNPC since last year, all right? And thereafter, we are on it now. Unfortunately, we have the old management of the NNPC gone down. We have a new management. And again, I must confess that the new chairman of NNPC, Musa Kida, and the GMD, they are quite cooperating and they're showing enough interest. Hopefully something will come out of it, but it's still work in progress. And again, let me give an example. The English Premier League received £200 million seed money from the British government when they started. Ditto the Italian League. Most leagues get money from government to start the development. We cannot do away with seed money from the federal government. There must be that. And this will help the clubs. This will help the facilities. I'm not asking them to give the money to the league. Let government develop all these facilities we're talking about that's not good enough. Let government develop it. Let there be merchandising. Let government help the boys to have better training facilities. Let government help the clubs to go for that kind of seed money. We help our coaches to go for refresher courses. That kind of seed money will help our players to stabilize and stay more in Nigeria because we earn more. Let me give you an example. People say that our players run to Benin Republic. 3 clubs in Benin. Now the one that play well, that pay well. Let me just mention those 3 clubs to you. Coton, they call it Cotton Sports. Coton, that's what it does in their own French language. Then we have Buffalo. Then we have Aspak FC. What do they pay? They give sign-on fee of 2 million CFA to an average footballer that they take. And the 2 million CFA is about 5 million naira. That's not a big money in Nigeria when it comes to football. All right? And no club in Benin, I've just checked their reports now, the highest they will pay is between 300 to 500 CFA per month. 300 to 500, that's about 750,000 to 1.3 million naira. A player needs 100,000 naira in Nigeria. We want to go ahead 1.2 million naira in Benin Republic. You buy anything you buy there, you buy it in CFA. You rent your house in CFA. You buy food in CFA. Pure ordinary bottled water in CFA. But at the end of the month, you got that it is penny white, pound foolish. You're not making any money. Because the cost of living there is different from here. So that is why we need to find a way to let government be convinced to give the system a seed money to operate. There will be stabilization. We can now compete with the rest in Africa. We can compete with the best in Africa. And we can indeed be the best in Africa.
Fantastic. Well, it's been almost 1 hour of solid conversation on this subject. Probably I'll just give you the opportunity. Last words to Nigerians on the Nigerian League. Assurances that we are on the path to growth and development. We have a caller, but I wouldn't take that call. We won't take that call. We've run out of time. But let Nigerians just hear you. You know.
Well, first I must thank Nigerians. Yeah, I must thank Nigerians. I must thank you too for this opportunity to address Nigerians. I must thank Nigerians for so far the cooperation we're receiving and the comments, positive comments so far. The fact is that we don't look at the staircase. You must at least take the first step. Don't be scared of climbing the stairs. Take the first step first. And that's what I've succeeded in doing. Like I was mentioning before, it's like we had a league, a system. Like that was, let's assume we had a landslide in an environment and buildings got sank below the sea level. Then what do? You want to start the foundation. But so then raising foundation, raising the building up, then again it must be completed because it can be inhabited. Now at this stage, we need the cooperation of Nigeria. Number one, believe in us that we are there with all sincerity. Whatever we are doing, that's credibility. We have a stake. You have a stake. Nigerian Premier League is not Ghana Premier League. It's not Moroccan Premier League. The whole Africa now, everybody is going towards Morocco. Why? Because the system, the government, and the system, they are developing football. Football is what can make a country great. Nigeria and the government and Nigerians should look at a way of giving support to our football ecosystem, not just the Premier League alone. Then the league survive. When the league survive, when the system is thriving, then the youth will be, the restlessness of the youth will be eradicated. 90% of our youth, our average Nigerian youth now, in those days they say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer. Talk to 90, 100 youth, 80, 90 will say, I want to be a footballer. That's where their mind is. And if the system is not okay, there will always be restless, unrest. So I think government should look into it, and I thank Nigeria, and I want them to still keep believing in us that it can always be better.
Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye, we thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Your last words, remind me that, look, when we say government, we have to be part of that government to make it happen. When we look at government from a distance, you look at government from a distance and you expect them to do what they do not fully understand, then something is wrong. So maybe, I'm encouraging all our administrators, support.
Richard, let me just give you this thing. Let me just tip in something about this. People are saying politicians are bad. Who are the politicians? I don't know Nigerians. So if you stay aloof and you refuse to be part of it, then the idiots, those who call morons, they will continue to reign, and you think that you are wise, you stay in the background and they will dictate for you. So those of us who are in the sports industry, you say they are not managing your sports well, yet you are not getting involved in the system of governance. You must be involved. You must be in government for you to make correction. You can't do it from outside. Yeah, you have to do it within. So please, I'm encouraging those of us who are stakeholders to show interest in governance and be able to make changes. They won't do it for us. It's our passion. It's our industry. When we are there, we can know what to do. You don't expect a carpenter to tell you how to operate a Volkswagen engine. No, it's not his job.
If there's anything that I have gained from having this conversation with you today, you, a politician, you, an administrator, it is that, look, we have been looking in the wrong direction. We've been blaming government without being a part of that government. So exactly. You said this is the time for our people to wake up and be a part of the political ecosystem. Go there and play the role of that which will domesticate, all these things that we are talking about. Make them laws that will guide us, that will help us, that will compel the Nigerian system to support football development, because this could be the biggest industry in this country if well harnessed. Once again, I thank you very much, sir, for joining us this morning. We wish you the very best. We are going to support the league as best as we can, at least from our own small area. And yes, that's the key to the future. Support the domestic leagues, the Nigeria Professional Football Leagues. Let's support it. Let's go out there and watch. Let's go out there and invest. Let's go out there and do whatever it is that we need to do, because it is the key to our sports development in this country. This is 90 Minutes with Mathematical. Ending our show this morning. Join me again next week, Saturday, when we bring you another wonderful package. Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye. Thank you and bye-bye.